What's up, everyone? It's Jeremy Majors here with the Majors Academy Dog Training out of Green Bay, Wisconsin, and we are live. It is Wednesday, February 21st, 7 o'clock, and we are here to answer any and all questions. We are live on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. So if one thing doesn't work, you got options. If you would like to join and get a free consultation, feel free to. I'm going to put the invite in the chat. So you should be seeing that right now. Feel free, guys, to click the link. The link you can see is visible on Facebook and YouTube. If any of you guys are out there and you want one-on-one free consultation right now, feel free to click the link and join the show. All right. Okie dokie. Well, we'll wait for people to join in. And as we're waiting, I will talk about a question that I had that I didn't get to last time. We might as well start it there. And that question is, what's happening, bud? How are you? That question is, it was actually a response to a post. And the post said, if your dog pees on every tree or every fire hydrant or every corner or anything like that, the post was that is the equivalent. That behavior is the equivalent to the loud guy at the bar just talking really loud, trying to be seen, trying to be noticed. And it's very similar to a dog that feels like it has to pee on everything. It's being just over territorial, and it is coming from a place of insecurity. So I know this because I work with insecure dogs, and they do a lot of the same behaviors. And one of those is having to mark what it seems like everything that stands up from the ground. If they poop twice on the walk, or if or if they poop every time they're on a walk, or if it's their second time pooping, then that is a marking poop, what I would consider. That's like marking their territory. And then some overly territorial dogs will scratch up your yard. All of that can be improved. All of that can be, I'm going to make a video. I thought about this really cool video idea of videoing every single walk from an insecure dog, videoing every single walk that we go on during the 3 weeks. And you'll see that the dog will start off wanting to pee on everything. And then without any corrections on the walk, without trying to get the dog to stop, you'll see as the dog gets more training time, the dog will start to lose the need to mark every single thing. It starts to get comfortable. And so I want to have a video. I think that's a cool video idea of having the progression of the dog becoming more secure with themselves, with the environment, with me. And as the trust builds from him to me, you start to see the dog wanting to prove or having to be so loud and talkative. They become comfortable with just being. So any of you guys who are currently watching live, feel free to ask any question you like. We are here at least for an hour. Um, and or more. Just depends on how many people have questions and whatnot. So yeah, Structured Canine Dog Training says, wish dog trainers can have a dedicated camera, man or girl. Dedicated camera. What do you mean by that? Like have a camera on them all the time? Oh, I gotcha. Yeah. Yeah, it would show a lot. It's tough to get certain things, man, because the best things are always happening when nobody's watching. Best training always happens when no one's watching. So, okay, what do I have in my kennel? Well, let's see. Training right now. I have. They're all mixes, and they're hard to kind of describe too. But I do have one that the owners said was something else, but looks like a Ridgeback without the ridge, a little smaller than a typical Ridgeback, but looks like a Ridgeback in the face and absolutely acts like a Ridgeback. Rhodesian Ridgeback. I would say Rhodesian Ridgebacks are probably not a good dog breed to have as a first-time dog owner. They require quite a bit of guidance. I would describe them as highly anxious dogs. And that's what I'm seeing in this dog. His name is Tarzan, and he is a highly anxious dog and very impulsive and very gluey, very attached dog. I mean, and any change in environment or scenery really stresses this dog out. So they're highly stressed dogs. Awesome dogs, good dogs, but people really need to know what they're getting into before they get a dog. It's not just about looks. Don't get that husky just because that husky is cute. Oh Lord, don't get that husky. Then don't get two of them. Don't get a Malinois. Don't get a Belgian Malinois as a first-time dog owner. I might even say don't get a pit bull as a first-time dog owner. Terriers are tough. Hunting dogs, not good for first-time dog owners. Any dog that has any sort of working drive in them is not good for first-time dog owners. Unless you are a super dedicated dog owner, and that looks like joining a club of some sort, whether that be a hunting club, whether that be a working dog club. If you've got those breeds and you're dedicated, then you can learn a lot, and you should. I would even say some people who own these dogs should be required to have some sort of training plan or club that they can rely on, because those dogs can be a lot, So yeah. All right, guys, those of you who just joined in, feel free to ask any question that you like. We're live on Facebook and Instagram and YouTube. I'm hoping you guys can hear me well, and I'm hoping that I'm not just talking into the mic. And last time you guys didn't hear me. Also, if you would like to join the stream, let me know. And we can talk about your dog specifically. It will help out a lot of other people too, because a lot of the people share similar challenges. So I've also got a new dog that I'm fostering. 10-month-old white doodle thing. I don't really know what to call it, but the dog is a little bit insecure. I'm working on that. No aggression. It's got to only be about 6-7 pounds right now. It's tiny, and I don't think it's going to get bigger. But I'll share some pictures and stuff. So if you guys are interested, you can let me know. I'm going to make sure this dog goes to a good home. And if you're interested in seeing the dog and learning about it, you can go to Fetch Wisconsin Rescue and look up the dog, a small white dog named Ollie. That's who I'm fostering. Just know that if you decide to go forward with this dog and adopt this dog, you will always have my support. Always have a place to board. Always have my advice, even training sessions. I don't care. I want Ollie to always have a place they could lean on if ever things get difficult. So check them out. I like to keep my fosters, stay connected with my fosters. I like to keep them for a long time. I like to learn them slow and teach them slow. So very good with dogs, cautious about people. But we can work through that if the people that are willing to adopt this dog are willing to teach the dog what boundaries are. So that's that. Okay. Here, I'm gonna put the link. I'm gonna put that link. Well, I guess there's no reason to put it up there, but that's the link that you click on if you want to join the show. Got a new logo, y'all. Got a new logo. I chose the wolf with the crown because the wolf is the king of the canines, baby. And it just really spoke to me. I was going through different logos, and I really like this one because it's not angry and it's not happy. It's just balanced. You know, and that's what I teach. I teach balance. It's just a nice, calm looking wolf. And I love the crown. So tell me what you guys think about the logo if you care to do so. I really like it. I think it's going to look really good on shirts. I really think it's going to look good on hats. And I can change the color to anything I like. But I really like that the crown matches the eyes, eh? It's a pretty cool touch. So that is the new logo. The new Majors Academy dog training logo, baby. Let's go. All right, guys, those of you who just joined in, please feel free to ask any question that you like. This is a dog training Q&A, first and foremost. So feel free to interrupt me with any questions that you have. I have been doing this for, let's see, I'm almost to 20 years, man. Almost. Let's see. It'll be 20 years in 2026. And so I started doing this as a young man, not even graduated college. And, I really gotta say, though, that we all know that raising kids and raising a dog and a pup they're not too different. There's a lot of similarities. And I do have to say that the reason why I am good with dogs is because of how I was raised as well. And I even saw dogs in the home. My first dog was a boxer named Bruno, childhood. And then my second dog, well, I consider him my second dog, but it was actually my stepbrother's dogs. They had two Doberman pinschers, one named King and one named Princess. And King was a Doberman, man, that just was a phenomenal dog. I mean, this dog used to roam the neighborhood with us. Um, would When we would leave the house, um, my father and my brother and I would leave my stepbrother's house. Um, he would chase our car right behind our car until we got up to a hill, and it was just a cool visual from a kid's standpoint, looking, you know, backwards at this beautiful dog chasing our truck. It's kind of a memory that sticks out. So yeah, and then I had a German Shepherd named Ivan, and he was an awesome dog. So did grow up with the big guys. I have to say the Doberman was the favorite for sure. He was a legend. He was really at that crucial age too. We were 5 up until high school. So he was he was an awesome dog. He once saved our my brothers and I from a bull, like a cow. We jumped this barbed wire fence, and this cow started to charge us, and you would have thought this was an episode of Ren 1010. The dog jumped the fence and got in between the bull and us kids, and barked, and the bull went away, and we were able to run away. So anyway, that's kind of cool. Kind of a cool story. All right, guys, those of you who just joined in, feel free to ask any questions as you like. We are live on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. And we're live. We're here for another hour. Well, we're here until, at the latest, 8 o'clock. But if you have any questions, feel free to ask. Or, like I said, if anyone's brave enough to join, you can get a free one-on-one consultation or whatever, free advice on what to do. I mean, you can actually call me too. I don't charge for consultations. So I don't even know why it's free. Yeah, I don't charge for consultations. I'll talk to you for free, usually for as long as you want. I don't try to rush anybody off the phone. But for those of you out there who think negatively of board and trains, I hope that you reconsider, because there are very much so great benefits. I would say the only real way to get a dog to consider other perspectives, because that's what it is. These dogs who are reactive, aggressive, have a weird perception, not a weird perception, just not a normal perception of what the world is, how to treat people, how to treat children, how to treat other dogs, how to treat their owners. And it's almost like a person that is addicted to drugs. We all know that those people are encouraged to leave their environment, to leave the area that their triggers reside. They're encouraged to go somewhere else, away from enablers, away from their enablers. And sometimes the owners, knowingly or unknowingly, are the enablers of reactive, aggressive behavior. So the benefit of the board and train is that it helps, again, allow the dog to consider other perspectives, because they're not in control of the environment. When they're at home, they're so comfortable, and they are usually in control of the environment or acting to gain control. And this is where bad behavior starts. Bad behavior usually starts because the dog is allowed to be in control. And then it develops that habit, and then it becomes a need to be in control. And that's what usually happens when there's too much freedom too soon. It keeps from being educated. So taking your dog to a board and train, a good board and train place. I know not all of them are good, but a good board and train will allow your dog to consider other perspectives. And for your dog is past 1 year old, 2 years old, 3 years old, it's definitely going to need the board and train. Young dogs can maybe get away with certain things because they'll learn, but if your dog is older and acting insecure and aggressive and or reactive, private lessons just kind of don't get it done. They're too comfortable in their environment. It's actually pretty dangerous for a trainer and or others to try and even get the dog to negotiate. Would take a long time to get the dog to actually, again, you got to negotiate with them in their environment. It's not going to happen. But rehabilitation places, just like humans, are there for that reason, to rehabilitate. It's hard to do it in their environment. Them dog needs time. They need to spend time with someone who they can learn to lean on, learn to trust, learn to have the ability to allow other things to happen. Again, for the sake of teaching the dog that you don't have to bark your head off at every other dog. You certainly don't have to bark your head off at people, bikers, cars, children, you name it. Some dogs are really stuck. And the best thing you can do is to help them get a different perspective. Best thing you can do is to have a dog who have once looked at something and lost its mind, and then get the dog back and have the tools and knowledge to be able to get the dog to be able to look at those same things and the dog go, not a big deal. It's a waste of energy for me to lose my mind. So there's a lot of benefits to board and train, especially, again, mine personally, the socialization aspect, the learning from balanced dogs. That's a big one too. Your dog will learn from other balanced dogs, my dogs, what not to, again, be overly reactive towards. So anyway, any of you guys that just joined in, feel free to ask any question that you like. This is a dog training Q&A. Feel free to interrupt me. Yeah, give me some questions, guys. Let me know that you can hear me at least, eh? Yeah, if you haven't already, also check out I've got a socialization series and a whiteboard series that is on YouTube, my YouTube channel. I've got over 300 videos. So if you would like to learn about socialization and learn about different topics such as separation anxiety, check out those series, guys. Oh, looks like someone wants to join in. Let's see if we can get them on. Oh, maybe not. Accept. I'll try to get them. Maybe it's not letting me, eh? Yeah, sorry about that. I don't know why it's not working. You can certainly join on YouTube and or Facebook. The link is in the comment section. But and for some reason Instagram's tripping. I don't know what's going on. All right. Looks like we got a question coming in. Was unable to join. What the hell? Sorry about that. Okay, here we go. A friend was bitten by their boyfriend's 6-year-old husky. Oh Lord. Several times on the wrist when they were taking it off its tie out. Yikes. The dog then turned and bit the owner. Yikes. Shortly after, the dog was trying to cuddle up with the people it just bit. This is the second time this has happened in a number of years. Do you think this might be something the dog can be trained out of? Of course. Yes. If the dog is the dog is probably healthy. The dog is not stupid. It can learn what stop or no means, and that's what it has to learn. Yeah, huskies are tough, though. Let me tell you, huskies are tough dogs, man. They're stubborn as all get out. You probably have to get the dog to become. They would probably have to get the dog to become less reactive when outside, I'm guessing, or when they're approaching to let the dog off the leash, because the dog is probably in a reactive state, a non-reach, not like the dog is like unreachable. And when dogs are sort of in the reactive state, boy, they can be, some of them are at when they're at their most dangerous. So the tie out, again, also can be sort of can be a place where the dog feels a little bit trapped. May or may not, but tie outs are not, they're sort of restrictive, and some dogs have a problem with being restricted, which can again bring up them to become reactive and sort of snappy at anything that is within their immediate radius. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm guessing is happening. I know huskies, and they are very tough. So yeah, let them know that they can reach out to me at any time too for advice. So yeah. All right, Chelsea wants to come up and join the conversation. Let's add her. What's up, Chelsea?
Hi, Jeremy.
What's up?
I have a dog, Chewy, and he is a board and train graduate of yours. And like the past 2 weeks, he has gone to the bathroom in the house, like marking his territory on the corner of my bed. And I think it's because we mostly work at home, and it happens when we leave. He's about 1.5 years, so I don't know if I should go back to crating him. Oh, hang on, I got a kid getting on the tub. I don't know if I should go back to crating him when I leave, or if there's something else I should try.
Yeah. Okay, so he's 1 year old now?
He's like 1.5, yeah.
Yeah, I would say, listen, if he decides that he wants to pee in your house and not where he's supposed to, then he loses a little bit of privilege of freedom in the house. Yes. Did you say he was peeing on your bed, by the way?
Yes, the corner of the bed.
Oh, Lord, no.
Like
no,
my
no.
bed.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
So, you know what else he loses is privilege of being on the bed, too.
Okay.
Because that's what ultimately he's doing, is he's claiming that bed as his.
Yes.
And, we don't want that. That's extra bad. Hey?
Yeah. Okay, so take away, like, maybe when I'm leaving now, he goes in the crate for a while.
I would say so. Yeah, you, and that's totally fine. Don't worry about the crate becoming a bad place. It's just a place. So be indifferent to that. But yeah, he loses a little bit of privilege, for a week or so or something like that.
Okay.
And then
I did have a second question too.
Yeah, go ahead. Anytime. As many as you want.
When we go on a walk, obviously we're out there so we can do his business, but then, like, how many times is enough, right? It's like, if I let him, he wants to sniff and pee every mailbox. But like, I saw the meme where it's like he's like that insecure guy at the gym trying to pee on everything.
Yeah.
So, do you just cut him off after a little bit and say, okay, that's enough peeing?
Absolutely. So my rule of thumb is this: any behavior that is obsessive and it seems like you just know he's going to do it, stop them from doing that. It only benefits them when you intervene. It gives them a sort of not only like a sense of calmness, but it also helps them listen better because they can almost rely on you then to sort of say that it's not that big a deal that you have to pee and be known and be seen and be heard by everyone and everything. So you're actually doing the dog a favor by saying, all right, enough, and if he does well, then, you can go ahead and say, all right, let him have that freedom to go pee on something or whatever. How about this? Choose a neighbor that you don't like and let him pee on that mailbox. How about that? No, I'm just
Yeah,
playing.
I like that.
I'm just playing. But yeah, don't let that be something that he does, because it'll help. Again, it'll also help if he is reactive on walks at all. It'll just help the trust between you two get a little better. So I was just talking about that before you had asked that. I was just talking about that. I'm going to make a video to show you or to show people that, like, when a dog first gets to my facility, how they will pee on everything. And I want to show that, like, they lose the need to prove who they are or to be, seen. As the training gets implemented, they just become more in tune with me and less in tune with the environment. So, or less insecure about, the environment. So, I think that's a good video idea. And yeah, don't let them pee on everything. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Appreciate your question, Chelsea. And hey, anytime you need any advice, man, reach back out. All right.
Okay.
All right. You have a good night.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. See, that's cool. Hey, that wasn't too bad. That's pretty cool. All right. Yeah. Hawkins, hey, if that person needs some help, man, let me know. Cause that's pretty bad. That, especially if a dog bites an owner, if the dog bites the owner, it just doesn't give a darn about anybody. It'd bite anybody if it bites the owner, so this is how you guys get a good dog, man. The dog has got to learn how to be respectful to you. It's going to treat the world how it treats the owners. And if you guys really demand an environment of respectful behavior, then the dog will be much more likely to be respectful to strangers and other dogs. It all starts with the home, though. That is the most important thing. You can't worry about all these different factors of, we need to go socialize more to get the dog to be comfortable with this. No, is the dog listening to you in the house when it's just you two? That's number one. Number one thing. If the dog doesn't listen to you in the house, it's going to be able to formulate and manipulate who it wants, when it wants, and it becomes quote unquote unpredictable or annoying to people who you bring into the home, picky about who he or she gets along with. And that dog is something that only then you can enjoy, and nobody else really gets to enjoy your dog. So a lot of control at first, and then equals a lot of freedom long term. But if there's not enough control in the beginning, all freedom in the beginning, then you'll end up having to control the heck out of the dog long term. It's just kind of how it works. All right, guys, those of you who just joined in, feel free to ask me any dog training question you like, and know that your question, there's never a bad one. Your question will help others. So feel free to ask, or like Chelsea just did, feel free to join and ask a question live. Again, know that your question will help others, because there's a lot of folks that have similar problems. But once again, guys, a lot of control in the beginning when you first have a dog, a lot of rules. And then you wean off those rules as the dog gets to know you, gets to know the environment, and gets to know basically how things are. And so, but again, the the problem with most people is they want the dog to have all the freedom all the time, whether that be because they want the dog to be happy as the priority, or they're just being lazy and not doing what they know they should be doing. So keep that in mind. A lot of control at first, and then again, as the dog matures, that control goes away, resulting in a lot of freedom, which means you can take the dog places, which means you can have people over and not have to worry about the dog. You can be more social. You don't have to worry. You can go on vacation. You can take the dog to a boarding facility and not have to worry. You want to build a dog that everyone else likes as well, not just you. If you're just in it for what the dog can bring you, well, that's selfish. But then it only is you that will end up enjoying the dog. Some people's parents can't come over. Some people's are afraid that neighbor children are going to run through the yard. Some people are afraid sometimes it's like a ticking time bomb that you got. One wrong step in mismanagement. You leave a door open. You leave the fence door open, and disaster is going to happen. There are some people that live like that. There are some people that can't go on vacation. Some people's first vacation in a long time is when they board and train their dog with me. They can't have people over for the holidays. And nobody wants to come over. They're like, no, I'm not coming over. It breaks up friendships. It breaks up relationships. Dogs can do all of that. And you get there by allowing the dog to do what it wants way too soon. So you got to think long term. Can't just think short term. And it's tough because you want to love on your pet. I get that. But sometimes there can be too much love to where the dog starts to manipulate you and manipulate your friends, manipulate anybody who comes to that door. I'm jumping on everybody. I'm barking at everybody who passes my house. I'm barking at everybody when I'm in the car. I'm stressing out when I'm in the car. I'm pulling on the leash and barking at dogs and barking at people and barking at kids and barking at motorcycles, bikes, skateboards, you name it. There are some dogs who have a problem with all of it and or a couple of them. But those are all dogs that are uneducated. And so it's very important that you guys, or that the owners are the ones that teach what no means, because the dog will eventually learn what no means, whether it be through you or the outside world. And when they learn from the outside world, it is much more traumatic for the dog. For example, you have a dog who's super territorial, overly territorial, again, barking at dogs through the window, looking at the window. Your window is all messed up and it's got all these nose, moisture all over the thing. The blinds are torn up, all this crap. So the dog ends up escaping and getting out of the house. This is an uneducated dog. He runs after this other dog, trying to be over territorial because it wasn't taught how not to worry about a dog just walking past, or God forbid a child, or the UPS man, or the FedEx man. Then again, the dog learns from the outside world. So the dog could get really hurt, get hit by a car, get into a fight, get really hurt, or God forbid bites a child, bites the UPS man, whatever. The dog is going to learn, and you don't want it to learn that way. Okay, it's got to learn through you how the world is. Things that happen regularly shouldn't set the dog off uncontrollably. I don't care if your dog barks to let you know something's going on, something's here, someone's in the yard, blah, 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 blah. But now the dog should be able to take your advice, your leadership, and stop. That's the kind of relationship you need to have with your dog, especially if you have a dog who's reactive. They're relying on you, or else they're going to rely on themselves. And a dog who thinks and or has to rely on themselves is a dangerous dog. Oh, he's never bitten before. I still wouldn't put it past him. If he's barking his head off and jumping on people, he's real close. That's like the first step. Remember this. No dog that bites goes without jumping, barking, or pulling on leash. They do at least one of them. Sometimes all three, sometimes two, but they do at least one of them. Every single client that I talk to, I ask all the same questions. Or by now, I tell them what their dog does. Because if they tell me their dog's aggressive, I can guarantee that the dog does these behaviors. And here's another big one, guys. Don't let your insecure, barky dog follow you around the house. Very common amongst aggressive dogs, reactive dogs, insecure dogs. They follow you around the house. Don't let them do that. Tell them to mind their business. Now that's something every dog could benefit from. Go mind your own business. Go away. And it's okay. It actually helps the dog. Tell the dog to go away. Leave you alone. Stop being annoying. It's okay to be annoyed with your dog and let the dog know that it's time to leave you alone. Think about it. Because again, you got to think long term. And you also have to think about how other people can enjoy your dog. When you're sitting at the dinner table, not everybody wants their dog up in their business. Like, give me your food, give me your food, give me your food, give me your food. That's for some people, they don't want to tolerate that. And they're also too maybe shy or afraid to tell you that. But that's what's happening. Don't let your dog be obnoxious to other people. But it starts with if the dog is allowed to be obnoxious with you. Don't let your dog be obnoxious to other people. Allow your dog to be enjoyed by other people. That's part of the whole dog raising thing, guys, that probably is overlooked or not even considered. It's not just there for you. Unless you're live alone and off grid, then fine. But all right, guys, those of you who just joined in, feel free to ask any question you like, as many questions as you like. You're not just subject to one question. We can have a whole conversation. Also, feel free to join in live too. You can go to Facebook or YouTube and click the link in the chat and join live. We just had an ex-client of mine join in, and she asked about, I probably trained that dog, I don't know, man, probably like 4 or 5 months ago. And one of the things I offer my clients is free dog training advice and or sessions for the rest of the dog's life. Glad to hear, Joe. I appreciate you, man. Brody was an awesome dog. I missed that dog. White German Shepherd, man. White German Shepherds they're special, man. I really like those. I really like those dogs. All right. We got some questions coming in. All right, question on Instagram first, and then I'll get to yours, Krista, okay? All right, I have a 7-month-old Havanese who yaps his head off every time he sees another dog on a walk. When I use an e-collar and correct him, he just screams even louder and gets even more worked up. You got to do more work in the house. It ain't about the walk. It's about how he's acting in the house. 7 months is really young. You got to put more control on this dog. He don't give a darn about your leadership, and that's the issue. You have got to get this dog to consider you on the walk, but it starts when it's just you and him in the home. Make him consider you more in the home. Day to day, your day-to-day routine. If he's not listening to you when he's outside and you tell him to come, you must make him come. He must respect the fact that when you say come, he must consider you and forget about what he wants, especially if his needs are met. If he's already peed and pooped and he's gotten some exercise, blah, 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 there's no reason and excuse for him not to listen to you. Make him listen more. More boundaries inside the house as far as the crate goes too. Make sure your dog can go in the crate without a treat. Excuse me. Make sure your dog can go in the crate on its own without a treat. You may have to put him on leash to do so, but he's got to be able to take your command again over his wants once his needs are met. And so that's a big one for us, for a 7-month-old puppy, making them understand that you got to go in this crate when I tell you to. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Obviously, again, especially if his needs are met, now you can demand certain things. So crate obedience is huge. Is he quiet in the crate? Can he sit in the crate without a treat? Crate obedience is where you can really get some good dialogue building with your dog. And again, just overall in the house, how much freedom does he have in the house? If he's acting like a fool in the outside of the house, outside of the house, you're going to have to tighten up with boundaries inside the house. Look for things that annoy you and or things you shouldn't tolerate inside the home and work on that. That's where you're going to get your bread and butter. Now, once you've figured that out and you've worked on that, then you can put more boundaries on the walk. He's perfect in the crate and at home with dogs he knows. He just loses his mind around dogs he doesn't know. Okay, regardless of, he may be perfect in the crate, but he obviously doesn't listen to you though, because he loses his mind to the point where you have to put an e-collar on a 7-month-old dog. So he doesn't necessarily listen to you to the way that he can. Now, what's perfect mean? You got to redefine what that means. If he doesn't, just because he doesn't bark his head off in the house doesn't mean he's good. Does he listen to you when you tell him to get off the couch? And I'm not applying that these things happening in your house. I'm just giving you things that you might be like, oh yeah, I need to do that. How well does he listen to you if he's on the couch or in bed with you, or just in general? Come when called is a huge one. And most importantly, can you walk with him loose leash? Because that's a very obviously an important thing on the walk. Loose leash walking. Because when he's in loose leash walking, then he is, like I've been saying, considering you to some degree, which is how you get to a dog being less reactive with other dogs. The dog has got to consider you. And if he has a job to do on the walk, as opposed to allowing him to do what he wants on the walk, then the stuff that he is putting all that energy towards will become less and less important for him. So tighten up though in the house. I'm telling you, there's things that are probably you can tighten up in the house. Like if he's perfect in the crate, but is he perfect going into the crate when you ask him to? That would be a good one, because I'm guessing not. Now here's another one. When you come home, what's his behavior inside the crate? Is he quiet or is he demanding to come out? And what do you usually do? Do you let him out while he's demanding? Or do you wait for him to be quiet, or can you ask for quietness? Those are all important things on how he decides to listen to you or not. Just these little things that we can improve on, again, to get through to him on the walk. The other thing is this. When you use the e-collar, remember this. The e-collar, it has to be associated with commands instead of just no. He should also learn how to sit with the e-collar, learn how to come with the e-collar, learn how to go lay down with the e-collar, learn how to be quiet with the e-collar, so that it's just not that area where he's feeling the e-collar. Because if he's being overly reactive with the e-collar, that means he don't know what the e-collar is there for, and it's just annoying him, and it's agitating him more. So he has a disconnect between e-collar and you. The thing is, he has to listen to you in order for him to consider the e-collar too. So use the e-collar when he's outside in the backyard and he doesn't come. Use the e-collar. Come. Remember this. Use your words at the same time you're using the e-collar, because he needs to know what it means, instead of it being some weird thing that's giving him something at a time where he really wants something. Use the e-collar where there's no reactivity, so that he can make that connection that this isn't something that I should get more frustrated about. It's just a tool disconnect. And then what you'll end up having is a dog who acts different with the e-collar. Plenty of dogs do that. And that dog is a dog 7 months. So yeah, you may need some help. Give me a call if you like, and I can give you some more tips, and we can really talk it out. Because that's intense for a 7-month-old dog. All right. Thanks for your question. Feel free to ask another. Okay, moving on. We got a question on Facebook. I adopted a 7-year-old purebred female Aussie from a reputable rescue in May 2023. She had previously been on an Amish farm bred for selling puppies. I brought her to my boyfriend's about a month later. I realize now I shouldn't have so early. And we were outside kicking the ball for the other dogs. My other Aussie and his rat terrier. She was sitting at my side and I was petting her head. Suddenly she just ran up to him and bit him in the calf. Then just came back to me and sat down. Yeah, she's just being controlling. She's just being an Australian Shepherd. Yeah, that's very common for those dogs. Any Shepherd for that matter. Yeah. Just be able to tell her no when she decides to do that. Keep her on leash. And if she is staring and or has an intense look, those ears are up and looks like she's wanting to control the situation, then tell her no. Put some pressure on her, and she'll learn to control that impulse. There's plenty of dogs that got to do that. Plenty. They just want to control. That's what they're bred to do. So no worries there. But yeah, teach the dog that that's not okay, and be consistent with it. And good evening, Chris. Be consistent with it, and again, the dog will learn how to control that sort of impulse. There's plenty of shepherds that are crazy about cars. She's only done it once. Well, then that's okay. Just watch her from now on, and if she's not looking at them, then you ain't got to worry about it. But if you see your dog looking at her at the situation, or any situation where it's kind of chaotic, then say, hey, knock it off. Don't you think about it. Something like that. But yeah, very common. Shepherds want to control. That's just their MO. All right. I appreciate your question. Feel free to ask another. What do I say to my boyfriend? Sorry. I mean, what else? I don't know. What you want me? Yeah, tell him sorry? I don't know. Just control your dog. Teach your dog. Is he pissed? He's like, get that dog out of here. I don't want to see this dog anymore. Okay. That's what I thought. Yeah. He's like, he told me to get rid of her. Nah, man, just tell him it won't happen again. And control your dang dog. It's your responsibility. Keep the dog on leash when it goes over there. And through time, your boyfriend will be like, all right, it might not be so bad, but he has a right to be pissed, and getting bit sucks. All right. But, yeah, just be like, all right, I know what to do. It ain't going to happen again. And, kind of just take it from there, man. I tell you what, man, sometimes I'm in the middle of relationships, boy. Let me tell you. Woo-wee, sometimes I have to play therapist, y'all, for real. I got this one client, man, big old dog. And, man, he's dating this new girl, and, he's getting in, and the dog bit the new girl, and I'm like, hey, that's a sign. No, I'm just kidding. It's not a sign. But it's like, he's in his feelings because he loves the hell out of his dog. She's in her feelings because she don't want to deal with this big ass biting dog. And so sometimes I gotta be like, hey, you gotta honor her feelings too. What's up, Jason? You gotta honor her feelings too. And she's gotta maybe be a little bit empathetic, like we got to get a game plan for how to get them two to see eye to eye or whatever, you know what I mean? So yeah, sometimes I gotta play a mediator, let's say that, you know what I mean? So yeah, it's pretty fun though. Okay, hey, I have a question. Sure, I have an answer. So my dog will usually only do this when people are over, but he will lay on his bed with his favorite toy and suck on it for hours if I let him. Just wondering about this. Yeah, I'd stop that. That's weird and obsessive, and anything obsessive and weird, stop. It just benefits the dog. It helps them out. They're dealing with their anxiety by doing an obsessive behavior, and there's no reason to be anxious. So take the toy away, tell the dog to stay or lay down, give the dog some guidance, some leadership in those moments. Those are crucial moments where the dog needs that leadership and that guidance. Then the dog will get over it. But for a while, give the dog a job to do. Tell him to go lay down. Do not allow him to indulge in his obsession. It will help them become more secure and ultimately maybe become more enjoyable, more calm, more friendly, more curious. So, yeah, don't let them suck on that. That's weird. Okay. Appreciate your question. Feel free to ask another. All right. I'm assuming the guy was moving away from the dog, and the Aussie was hurting or having prey drive, normal behavior stuff. Exactly. Yeah. Hurting, for sure. I get tons of calls. My Australian Shepherd grabs my children's clothes. My German Shepherd grabs my children's clothes. Or when I'm playing ball with my one other dog, I just had this call the other day. I'm playing fetch with my other dog, and my Australian cattle dog is barking its head off at the other dog's ear, and is like, yeah, they're just being, it's like toxic hurting. It's like, it's like the negative side of hurting, right? Like, yeah, you can be or hurting, but not just now, not right now. Like, you can control your hurting drive too. That's something that you can control, and it actually is good, because if you think you can go on controlling things whenever you want, it's actually a recipe for disaster, because a kid can get bit really easily that way. And then sometimes some dogs lose their life because of that. So if you got a herding breed or a working breed, make sure that you can help them with their drives, their natural drives to be territorial, to be protective, to herd, etc. All right. Well, look at it. It's 8 o'clock, guys. If you guys got any last questions, feel free to type them in right now. Otherwise, we're going to end this show. I appreciate everybody's questions too. Thank you guys for all the engagement. I'm going to try and make this thing a regular thing now. All right. My schedule is chaotic though. Between 2 kids and the dogs that I have here, it's tough to do things consistently this show, but I think it does add value and I want to provide it for y'all. So I'm going to try to figure out how we can make this thing more consistent, but my time is up here. I appreciate you guys watching. I hope you and your families are doing well. God bless you. Good night. Awesome, Jason. That's good, man. Awesome. Good to hear. Gabe was a tough one, but you were definitely he's lucky to have you, bro. All right. Hey, let me know if you need any help in the future. Take care, guys.